Would you look at that mess? Isn't she a beaut? I made her myself. I've been busy. We all been busy. Is it even really a mess? I mean, is it? Yes. But also, it could just be like, a full creative toolbox. Potential energy. There's bugs on that leaf. All these plants have bugs. It's so annoying. I can't get rid of them. Does anybody know how to get rid of scale? Because I don't. My cousin sent me all that. Anyway, what I was saying is it's really just possibilities, Just, it's not hoarding. Watch. Plus, it's not like I haven't been making stuff. I just got really into making like these tiny little projects because it's just the satisfaction of getting something done. I started this friendship bracelet in 2016, okay? What's important to note is that it's finished now, though. I've also been training my algorithm. I have to take notes, okay? My time, I realized, is expensive. And I'm not gonna scroll for no reason. You either give me the good stuff or I'm leaving. I'm leaving, okay? You might want to screenshot this for later. It's the Kindle Plop. So this, I know, it's not the neatest thing, okay? I've been watching the stitchery, and even though her stuff is not embroidery based as much anymore, when I first started watching her, it was because I was moving on from cross stitch. But yeah. Anyway, I got really into making Kindle Plops. Really, really, really into making Kindle Plops. I might have made too many. I made some with zippers so that I could put them in care packages and not take up space. I made another one with a zipper. Isn't it cute? She's patchworked. I got really into these Kindle Plops. They were super fun. This one's a chicken. There's another chicken. I love them. Aren't they adorable? Anyway, these I made out of reusable bags, and they're really good for the kitchen. Just anywhere you're afraid like they might get messy because they're like easy to wipe off, and you could use them to hold recipes. As you can see, my recipe is an old pattern that didn't work and I didn't want to stick together, so then it became a recipe. I made sure to take very good friendship bracelet notes. And right before I start to show you how to make these Kindle Plops, I'm not really going to show you. I think you should go look at the description box and watch the videos I watched because they're good videos and you should watch them. And they actually know the construction techniques and stuff, and I'm just showing you my spin on it. And these are all the other things I made while I haven't been cleaning my space. Some wonky stars. Can you tell that after the stitchery, I watched a bunch of Pin Cut Sew? Because I did. And let me tell you, that whiplash I got from so many pockets to, things don't need pockets, was like, it was eye-opening. All types exist. We all have our place in the world. Anyway, for the chicken, you make, what is this called? Hold on, I gotta look this up. The comb. It's called the comb. So here I am flipping the comb inside out. And for the beak, I actually used Pink Cut Sew's beak from her Prosperity hens, which I'm going to make some of those too, but it's on the list. So the seam goes down the back, kind of like this spine. This is not what Pink Cut Sew does. But I also watched another tutorial by Debbie Shore. She also makes a chicken phone holder. So I kind of combined both of theirs and then also did my own thing. What you want to do is sew the beak and the comb on the top corner of your rectangle, but facing in because they're going to flip out after you sew the seams closed. Have I mentioned how much I hate the Meta glasses? This is video from Meta glasses, just so you know, so you don't buy them because they suck. Okay, so you see if I flipped those out, then they would be on the outside of the chicken, like that. And also, if you want wings, I forgot to put wings on this one, but if you wanted wings, you would put them on before you close up your seams. Don't do what I did if you want your flightless bird to have wings. And then when you sew that corner closed, try to round it a little so your chicken has a sort of round head. You leave a hole for my chickens. I leave a hole at the top, and I'm gonna also leave a hole on the bottom. The bottom's just open right now, but you need to leave 2 openings for both your different stuffings. So if you want to check your work, you could just flip it out right now at this stage to see how your chicken's face is looking. So you see how the seam goes down the back? That's not how Nikki at Pink Cut Sew does it. Or I don't think it's how Debbie Shore does it either. But yeah, that's how I did it. And you match up your little pressed seam line with your actual seam line. And remember to leave a hole while you're sewing so you can stuff stuffing. Even though it's not a turkey. That's a bad joke. I just used some leftover felt for the little, this is the part that your phone is actually going to sit on. So you want to make it a little bit soft. You could also, I guess, technically use cardboard or maybe denim, I think. But I use felt. I found that if you tried to hold one end while you put the felt through the top, it was sort of easy to align with your markings. And then you sew your felt down so you have a sort of separation. And then I stuffed the little part with actual stuffing because it was hard to get scraps that were tiny enough that would be okay for that part. So I did use actual stuffing for, I don't know, the little guardrail, the little chicken butt. Gotta fill up the rotisserie part of the chicken. So this part I did use actual scraps, and I did like using actual scraps because I felt like it made it heavier. I've mixed it with stuffing, but I think using scraps makes it nice and like a chunky boy. Another chicken to add to my flock. I'm giving most of these away, but for now. She's got a whole flock to go to. I gotta stop making these foam plops, but I can't. They're so fun. Something about their construction just tickles me. I just love it. It's so, like, rewatching this as I'm doing the voiceover, I want to go make another plop. I got this plate for Christmas, and it's handmade, and so I can't use it because if I break it, I will crumble too. So the plop is perfect for it. Just another use for a plop. You know, they're so useful. Go make 10. Go make 11. I got this fabric from some family. He didn't want to make bags anymore, and I understand why. Sewing this fabric was like sewing car tires. So even though I made this bag from Sewingtimes, it's not exactly like the bag. There was a front pocket on her bag. I really do like the pattern, but the fabric was just... I think it's meant for like the bottom of book bags, you know? Keeps it waterproof and safe. It's not meant to go around corners like this. It was really frustrating to sew. But the bag was cute. Came out cute. Highly recommend Sewingtimes. My favorite bags have all come from Sewingtimes pretty much. She hadn't sewed down these corners, so I left this one open because it was like where the zipper started, so you could keep it kind of closed. And then this other side, I did sew it closed, just in case. I found just the perfect amount of fabric. It was the perfect size to do a flap on my quilted IKEA chair cover. I had run out of this fabric. I didn't know where any more was, and then this popped up when I was cleaning. And yeah, the first try, as you can see, did not work. I went up too far. I think it made it too tight. So I seam ripped it out right to where the fold was on the fabric anyway. That's why sometimes you don't press, girls, okay? You don't have to iron everything. Sometimes not ironing works perfectly. Look at that. Look at that. The fold line was already there. Don't you love when that happens? dropped a pin. So I have this magnetic, I think it's for knives in the kitchen. Works great. If you ever lose a pin, I highly recommend getting yourself one of those knife magnetic things. It's a nice wide angle. This is a shirt I've already flipped. I didn't like the collar, so I thought about putting the collar on this dress, but I don't know. I don't love it. It's not my style. It looks fine. It's cute, but I don't know. Oh, and I really like the way the shirt came out when I just took off that circular part of the collar, but the string I had put in was kind of restrictive, so I'm going to put a little bit of elastic sort of in the middle, so the ends will tie with the purple ribbon, but there'll be elastic through the casing, just so it's a little more comfortable. My best friend wants this turned into just a skirt. And when I first tried to pull out this serged end, I thought it would be simple, but it was not. It was not simple. So I cut it. I just cut it off, because you know what? It's fine. The fabric was not the type that was going to fray, and I used pinking shears anyway. Came out great. I have the best cousin, and when she gets rid of her crafting and sewing stuff, she thinks of me. And I really, really do appreciate it. I'm gonna use all this stuff. She sent me like 3 huge boxes full of patterns. Look at all this yarn. Isn't that amazing? And I was just looking at some crochet patterns. Just perfect timing. Perfect timing. And I wanted to do decorations. She sent me all these different decorations, and they're all adorable. All the stuff in the hope chest is stuff that I need notions for, that I don't have. It's perfect for the hope chest, right? This top, I actually made a whole set for Christmas for a friend, but I didn't like how the stretchy hems were coming out. They were all wavy. No matter what I tried. I mean, by the end, I did use like stay hem tape, which worked, but I don't know. Gotta work on my stretchy sewing. This top is really cute, but the buttons are impractical. They're adorable. They're very, very cute, but they are hard to put on. So this bag is full of stuff that I've made that I just need to put somewhere. I don't really know what to do with it. Made these rain hats out of, well, that one I think is out of a barber's like cover cloth, the green one, and then the pink one is out of a broken inflatable tube from camping. Which goes to show, if you're creative enough, it can be pretty easy being green, and you get a cute hat out of it. My cousin also sent me all these crochet patterns. She saves all of her patterns and all of the label patterns, the patterns that come on the label. Love it. This was already pretty much sewn up, so I'm just gonna finish it off for her. It's a cute swan. I could use a swan, you know? There was a teddy bear pattern on the back of the stuffing plastic. So, free teddy bear pattern, huh? Companies don't try hard enough anymore. Fresh cutting mat. I also got a free motion quilting foot and edge foot. I'm gonna try this blade sharpener. I've nicked my ruler a bunch because it's not a quilting ruler. It works good, but it's not strong enough. So I got quilting rulers too. You should just try to do the thing before you have all the things. And then once you do the thing, you know what you need. Like, I didn't know I liked rotary cutters because I didn't know for a long time that you had to change the blade. I was using the blade that was on the one from my grandma, and it didn't work. Surprise, surprise. And now I love rotary cutters. It's like, what have I been doing to my wrists this whole time? This blade sharpener does work for the Olgas, but they didn't work for the new rotary cutter I just bought. Not because of the size, but because of the actual, like, hole that you attach it with. It was different. It was like triangular. This crop top was too cropped, so I'm gonna add some fabric to the end. And I'm trying another free bucket hat pattern. We'll see how this one turns out. None of them have fit me right so far, but this one was promising because it was more oval shaped. So, yeah, I'll link it in the description. I'm not cutting out it exactly to the pattern specifications because I wanted to do a little back part that kind of looked like a bandana sort of feel. So I'm leaving these corners and I'm not going to cut that curve. And I sewed two corners of the lace, two edges of the lace together, so it had a nice little lacy edge. This sweatshirt I actually started a long time ago. And then I put it away because it wasn't interesting anymore. You know what really annoys me about Clockwork Orange? The movie, Kubrick left out the last chapter, which is like the most reformative, like satisfying part of the whole entire book. I don't understand how you can leave out the whole last chapter. It just, I don't know. But I do like the book. The book makes sense. I thought about patchworking all of that together. And then I decided not to. You know, if it doesn't feel like it's working, don't force it. Because then you'll just have to seam rip anyway. And it came out much better when I didn't force it. Made a little, I don't know, like a paper holder for my aunt for when she goes to the bank because she's always losing stuff when she goes to the bank. So I thought she could put her papers in here. And I free quilted it with my new free quilting foot. I think it came out alright. I mean, it's tiny, so it's easy, but it came out okay. Got some little pockets. Can smush a book in there. And I put a little magnet closure. It's not super strong. It's not the greatest, but it'll keep it pretty closed. And then I had some extra patchwork fabric left over, so I made a little pouch, a little zip pouch. Who doesn't love a zip pouch? There's some of my blue laundry bag dress fabric. Did I make another plop? Probably. I also made a basket. Look at. I used some black felt for the interfacing, the stiffness of it. It worked really well. I will say that I think the pocket is doing a lot of it too, having that quilted pocket. So if I put another quilted pocket on the other side, I think it would stand up really well. But that's the black felt I used. And it doesn't seem like it would be that strong, but it did work really, really well. I had so much of that black felt and I didn't know what to do with it. And turns out it was really useful. Then with the last patchwork thing, I made like a coaster. I don't know, a bookmark, a little art piece. I don't know, whatever you want it to be. It's the limit is where your imagination stops, which I hope is nowhere. It's another plop. Yes, it's another plop. This time it's a chicken plop with a zipper. That's right. And I didn't forget the wings this time. I feel like these would be good for traveling. You know, you shove your phone charger in there, maybe some socks, and you're good to go. Pattern for this fanny pack is in the description. It's a really good fanny pack. It's nice and big, so it can hold a lot. But I'm combining patterns. Oh, did I make another plop? Yes, I did. I did make another plop. So I combined this pattern with a drawstring bag pattern. Give me a second, you'll see how it all comes together. And then the drawstring bag pattern, I'm connecting it to the bag using this fold-up tote pattern. So I used the fold-up part of a tote, and I used the drawstring bag. All of these patterns are linked in the description, but I really did like the way this drawstring bag was constructed. It was very clean, nice clean edges. And that's how I quilted on the fold-up tote part. So you put this sort of rectangular piece along the front, or I guess you could do the back too. But for this project, you do need to do it on the front. And I connected that part where you'd fold up the tote to the back piece of the fanny pack pocket. Like I made the back part before I attached all of the fanny pack to it, and I attached that back piece to the fold-up tote part. If that makes sense. You'll see how it all comes together. If you watch all three videos, it will really make sense. The fanny pack video, the tote bag video, and the drawstring bag video are all together in this. So you can fold up the drawstring bag and it will be on the back panel, the back pocket panel of the fanny pack. Because what I find usually is that I want to bring my fanny pack, but I know I'm going to go shopping and I'm going to need a bag. So this way you have your bag and you can just wear it on your back. I think you could even technically wear it on your back and then clip the fanny part to your front, and then it'd be extra secure, sort of hiking without any support. So not very hiking. And then of course I had to add handles to the backpack because I got the too much gene. I finished my Frankenstein fanny pack. It's good though, right? The DD Bright fanny pack in general has a lot of pockets, so adding a bag to the back was maybe overkill, but I think it's the good kind of overkill. Pretty proud of my finishing. Looks alright. That pocket's perfect for your cell phone. I even made the strap out of patchwork. So just for clarification, I attached the fold-up totes pocket to the back panel pocket, like the back panel of the back pocket of the fanny pack. And then I attached that to the drawstring bag. And then I folded the drawstring bag up into the foldable tote panel, and I attached the whole fanny pack together as normal. But you see, it works as a backpack. I wanted to use a sort of cuter gingham fabric for the backpack, but it was too thick. So I really think if you were going to try this, you should try to go with something, a type of fabric that's like really thin, really smooth. And this back panel part, I just added a little Velcro to the back of the drawstring bag so it's not flapping around when your bag is open. Because I don't believe the tote bag pattern has that. So it's an easy add at the end. I'm happy with how it came out. See how old everything at the bottom of this bag was? There was a Joann's bag. That's how old, that's how long it took me to get to the bottom of my mending basket. I fill up all these kombucha and wine bottle jars I cut and leave them on my radiator because it gets really dry. It's a nice, easy way to humidify stuff. And I think the plants like it too. Look at how blown out the meta glasses are. This is after I tried to edit the video. So this is just me telling you, if you were thinking about getting the meta glasses, just know this is the quality of video you're going to be getting out of them. Also, the side button doesn't work anymore, the little gesture thing. That's what happens when you don't put physical buttons in. So now it's really just headphones for when I'm at home and I mean, all I ever wanted to use it for was at home anyway, because I'm not a creep. But I did like to use it when I had my mall job, because I could listen to podcasts and nobody saw me with headphones in. But other than that, they're really not great. This was actually a longer dress, and I already cut the hem off. The hem was really big. As you can see, it was very wide. I didn't like it even as a shorter dress though, so I turned that hem part into a tank top and some shorts. And then I just made the actual dress that I had already shortened into a tunic, which is perfect. I've worn it multiple times already. It's usually one of the first things in the wash. It's so light and comfy. Sometimes it takes a few tries to mend your own clothes and figure out what you want. And then I got 2 extra clothes out of it. Talk about winning. This dress is cute. I like it. But it's just not me. I don't know. It's kind of hard to put on too. It's just not my favorite. It's got a good stretchy, what's that called when it's stretchy like that? Ruched? Where it's like all elastically ruched together. But I feel like that just makes it kind of constrictive, especially when there's no zipper. It's hard to put on. So I cut the skirt off and made a top. And then I have a bralette for, I don't know, I can give away. And I just serged the end of the bralette and I used the bottom half of the skirt. And I didn't even cut the hem off the skirt. It's the shoulder finishing. There's no finishing on the shoulder except for what was already there, which was the hem of the skirt. But I do like how I finished the shirt. I think I'm getting really good at my finishings. My insides of my clothing are starting to look just as good as the outside. Look at that facing. Guys, it's laying flat. I have a flat laying facing. How and why, I don't know. But it happened. It happened to me. It can happen to you too. But yeah. Another clothing piece that was one piece and I turned into 2. This was a dupatta that I was using as a curtain for a really long time, so it ripped. But it makes a really nice color. It's really pretty when the light shines through it. So even when it's cloudy, the light is warm. So I'm just gonna fix it and maybe not use it as a curtain anymore. I patched it up. Can you see? I even pattern matched some of that with my patches because I used the other end. Yeah, I think it blended pretty well, my little patchies. I copied this pattern from one of my favorite shirts. I think I copied it pretty well because it looks a lot like my favorite shirt when it turns out. That's it. But I do like how the shirt looks. Looks great. I don't like the fabric. I thought it was silk. It was not silk. My iron was very quickly letting me know this is not silk. And I don't think my eczema likes polyester that much, so I don't wear it. On occasion, maybe, if it's like that super soft mixed with bamboo stuff, but generally it's a no. This is me trying to organize all my patterns. I did get all the pictures done. I used to really love using Evernote for pattern organization. It's super handy. You can be in the fabric store and you can think of the pattern you want to use and see how much yardage you need on your phone. You can be sitting on the couch and thinking of like, oh, I wonder if I have, if this blouse would look good with this fabric, and like go through your whole catalog. And then I organize my box by number, obviously, so I can pretend I'm at Joann's and looking through their filing cabinet. But it went up to $25 a month. So it wasn't really feasible. And I tried to put it onto Apple Notes, because Apple Notes does have OCR, which reads the text off of images, but it's not as good as Evernote. So I don't know what I'm going to do. I found some really heavy dark fabric, so I thought I'd make a blackout curtain. It was really quick. And then I needed a green eggs and ham break. I shake my eggs because then I feel like it falls out of the egg really fast if you shake your eggs. Have you tried shaking your eggs? I shake my eggs. And I've been saving my spinach containers because they're good for organizing scraps by color. Have you had green eggs and ham on a croissant? It's pretty good. I'm wearing the shirt I made. It's super comfy. I really like it. This is one of the last things I think I'm making. I wanted to make a sort of thermal curtain for my brother for when, because it gets cold in his apartment, so he likes to sort of close off his open doorway with curtains, and I just think some like good thick ones would really help. So I'm making him some quilted curtains. I put ravioli in my chicken curry. It's spinach ricotta ravioli in chicken curry that I made myself, and it's good. Chicken curry could use a little cheese. I split the quilt pattern into two so that he could walk through the curtains in the middle. It wasn't like a huge blanket. But technically he has two twin-size quilts now that are also quillos, because on the other side I put one last patchwork piece so you can fold it all into a pillow. I made one more blackout curtain because I was in a curtain making mood, And it's a really good way to use up fabric when you've organized all your fabric and you realize you have no more room for more fabric. Make some curtains. It's storage on your windows. If you ever need the fabric again, you could just pull a Sound of Music. I would just like to point out here, technically the mending basket is empty. The skirt that I made is in there, it has to go out. And the other thing that was in there was my vest that I use as an apron sometimes because it has lots of pockets. All folded by color. I wish I had folded it like bookways, but I didn't. And this is how it is, so for another day. I put all my silky fabrics into bags because I was tired of trying to make them sit on one another. So I just put them into bags, and the bags are kind of the color of the fabrics that are in them. If that makes sense. And it's clean. That's right, it wasn't a hoarder's mess. It's clean now, and it's all become things. You can do it. That's the other shirt I fixed and added a hem to, and now it works great. It was too cropped. Did you think I had forgotten about that one dress I was going to add a collar to? I did not. I'm using one of my grandma's vintage patterns. I'm not going to do that weird pleat thing on the sleeve, and I'm not going to do the pleats at the waist, which I never like to do vintage pattern darts because I think that's what makes them look vintage. If you just don't do the darts, they're really cute. Piecing this together to make a whole piece of fabric that would fit onto the pattern was a bit of a challenge. But never forget sleeves, guys. There's a lot of fabric in sleeves. You think there's not a lot there, but your shoulders are wide. There's a lot of fabric there. And the main part of this dress that I liked was the fabric. It's that soft, rayon-y bamboo polyester that I actually do like. So I'm really just trying to wear this fabric. I don't care if it's a dress or pants or whatever, as long as it works. Guess what doesn't work though? My sewing machine. You can sew and fix all and do everything in your mending basket and fix all your stuff, but you know what? You have to also pay attention to your sewing machine because I haven't oiled it in a long time and I was not cleaning it. I was like, oh, I'll just finish the quilt and then I'll clean it. And then I found that shirt pattern and I was like, well, I'll just do the shirt and then I'll clean it. And now it's broken. I think the culprit is the feed dogs. Actually, I know the culprit is the feed dogs because this is me from the future. But it was the feed dogs from putting the feed dogs up and down during quilting. And as you'll see later in the video, there is a little white cookie part that was covered in lint. And every time you clicked it off, it would just click back on because the lint was making it all slip. So I took my machine completely apart to see what was going on in there. Not completely. I almost took it completely apart. I had all the screws off. And then I was like, maybe I shouldn't do this. So I took the front parts off. The sides that were easy to take off, I took off. And I oiled her all up. Oil your sewing machines. It's important. white part there is part of the feed dog thing. It's not what was stopping it, but it is connected to the back inner piece you'll see later that was stopping it. If you have this problem with your machine where after you move the feed dogs a bunch, it only sews backwards. That's what happened to me. And I'll show you what I did. Was it really the problem? I don't know, but when I fixed what I thought I fixed, did it work good? Yeah, but before that, it only sewed backwards. I did find another sewing machine repair video. It wasn't exactly the same problem. I will link that video down in the description just in case that was your problem, but that wasn't exactly what my problem was. Her problem was easy. You could just lift the feed dogs up and reposition them, but mine was connected to the back, like a little gear in the back. That was where it was really messing up. This is where I take off her whole head. I tried to only use the pressurized air in a way where it wasn't going to get lint into the back of the machine, and then I oiled every part that moved. Everything that I could see that moved, I put a little dot of oil on it. Working on a sewing machine is like being like a little dollhouse mechanic. You got this tiny little engine you gotta figure out. It's pretty basic though. You can do it. You can figure it out. Your sewing machine is not as complicated as you think. Alright, here it is. It's those white gears in the back. That white gear that's connected to that black gear. It was covered in lint. There was lint in all the little gears. And so I had to use a Q-tip and wipe it all out and tweezers, and I finally got it all clean. But that's what I think what the problem was. So sewing machine fixed, and my space is clean. It's all clear and nice and pretty. And my shirt is done.